Hello, welcome to the Boyd Life.
Today we're talking about taxes. Taxes. Stay tuned.
Hello, welcome to the Boyd Life. This is Life with Rick and Marta, where we will be discussing practically anything, any subject. It just really isn't off limits. We are expressing our views, opinions, and thoughts on various subjects, and it could be good, bad, or anything in between. Okay, so that's what's up with the Boyd Life. And let me point out this disclaimer. The views expressed on this channel may or may not be 100% factual. Anything goes, so have fun and be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. Well, hi there. If the government and, and that means we've got federal, state, county,
City.
local or city, there are so many entities. We are just taxed to here or whatever. And here's what gets me. Everything isn't called a tax. Might be called, I wrote it down, like a fee, a surcharge, then there's licenses, permits,
Didn't you say once was a dividend?
Well, here, this I don't get. Okay, so you have a service, and then there's sales tax, and then there's a city dividend. What in the heck is that? You buy gas, and you're paying you don't even probably realize, we probably don't even know how much of that gallon of gas actually how much of that amount are taxes, whether it be federal, state, local, whatever. And then here's, for instance, just, we had to register our vehicle, and we have...
Which everybody does. Everybody has to register.
In every state. Yeah. Okay. Oh, so there's a fee, a registration fee, because you have to do that. Well, you need a license plate. There's a plate fee. Oh, if it has tires, there's a charge.
Wheel tax.
For tires or wheel tax and stuff. Then there's motor vehicle fee. Well, I thought we already did that. Motor vehicle tax. And I just don't understand all of these different things. They get so much of our income. Well, like when people are working, which we are not now, we don't get a paycheck like that, but we worked for years and years and years. So when we did, they had to take out for
Social Security.
Unemployment. There was an unemployment tax. Then there was another tax for, I can't remember, is FICA, I don't know, there was Social Security taken out, and not just of your check. In case some of you don't realize it, not only when you were working and your employers, because we were employers as well at one time, and you have to take out a percentage for Social Security of every check you make based on, and it's a percentage based on what you're making. So if you make more, more goes out for Social Security. The employer
have to match that.
Has to match that amount. So it's like a retirement for you, because you're paying and your employer's paying, and that's all considered in your wages or your wage. But there's taxes taken out too. It could be federal and state income tax, and then what did I say? There was unemployment.
I said all of them.
I thought there was something else that we sometimes had.
But look at your paycheck, and for your younger people. There was a video out quite a long time ago that this kid had his first job, and so he worked these hours, and he said, "I'm getting paid $10 an hour," and he was so happy and everything like that. And he got his first paycheck, and he was expecting this amount of money, and he gets his first paycheck, and he says, "What's this?" And his dad says, "What do you mean?" He says, "Dad, I worked 15 hours at $10. I should have a check for $150. And he says, "No, son, that's not the way it works." And he says, "What do you mean it's not the way it works?" He says, "Well, there's a tax for this and Social Security and so that what, and all of a sudden he's only taking home $110 or 120 bucks or whatever, but it was a lot less than what he thought." And he says, "Well, that's not fair." And he says, "Well, yes, it is, son. I mean, because here's all these taxes. That's the way the world works." And he says, "But that's not fair." He says, "Get used to it."
Well, here's the thing too. That is, taken out. So before you get that check, so then you take that check and maybe you deposit it or cash it, whatever, and then you go to
the grocery store.
The store or something, or you're buying groceries, for instance, or you're who knows what, you're buying a new pair of shoes, and then you're paying sales tax. And I found out since we moved here, besides the regular sales tax, they also have another tax in parts of the city that they tack on.
Right.
For
luxury
something.
tax.
Yeah, maybe it's something
well,
like
no,
that.
it's for stadiums, it's for venues, for when you live in a town like Lincoln, the university.
Why?
You pay extra taxes for it to get new things in Lincoln. Well, it's amazing the amount of taxes that you can find it add up a lot.
Well, anyway,
now some people say, okay, move to another state. Mm-hmm. Because South Dakota has no income tax. They have what? No sales tax
or no property tax.
Property tax, and
I'm sure they must have sales. Oh yes, they had sales tax because it was 4.5%, maybe.
But it's statewide. It's smaller.
But they have no income tax, no property tax. So how do they make it on that? Maybe they don't do all these weird things that actually is our government really supposed to get involved in building all of these things? That's what private enterprise and things, business people were for. It's like you open a donut shop. Why did I pick a donut shop?
I don't know.
I'm hungry.
She's
and
hungry.
I love donuts. Anyway, but you open a donut shop, and you're maybe in competition with someone across town who has a donut shop, but the government decides, we can make some money in donuts, so we're going to open one down here. What? They're not supposed to. That's why.
Who said the government opened a donut shop?
That was just an example.
Oh, an example.
It was an example that I liked.
I was going to say, it's got like government donuts today?
I was going to use something that I liked.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, the thing is, too, so you go and you pay sales tax. Now, if you get, let's say that you've been working a while and you buy a house. Well, who knows what kind of fees, there are fees associated with that, and the government is getting their hand in that as well. But there are taxes a lot of times on that.
You
buy a car.
Profit. The profit you make, you're going to pay taxes on.
No, you pay property tax every year.
Every year.
That you have it. A vehicle, you pay property tax every year, depending on the state that you're in. That might be a state thing, but it doesn't matter. another chunk of your money goes to all of that. We really want to hear from you, because you may have thought of a lot of other things that we aren't covering here. So please comment and share. But we also, we live in the state, we pay taxes, whatever, and there are recreation areas. And then they get their money. First, you have to have a permit. You can't even drive in there if you don't have a permit on your car. Now, if you have another car and you might be driving that, you have to pay some more to have, to cover both cars or vehicles. But you get in there and you want to stay, and you have to pay to stay. You want to fish, well, you have to have a fishing license. You want to hunt somewhere, you have to have a hunting license. And all of these different permits and licenses, whether it be state, federal, local, whatever they are, and it's just unbelievable the amount of things that you're continually paying.
But when you got to think about this too, is that when you're getting a permit, it's helping manage the wildlife so you can go hunt. You got to have a permit so somebody doesn't go out there and shoot 15 deer. So you have to limit the amount of deer. There are reasons for some of the permits and fees. The only thing that I say is, if you look at the government offices and see how many people are in those government offices.
How much has the government grown? This agency, that agency. And in Congress, they're always setting up new task forces or agencies, or we used to never have something called Homeland Security. That was probably under something else. But let's just do that. And then, of course, we don't even want to mention the IRS.
Yep. So, the government keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it wasn't supposed to be bigger. It shouldn't be the biggest employee of the United States.
Well, and that's like, too, if you are working and
employer, not employee.
Okay. Well, let's say that you're working and you have you go to the bank and you open a checking and a savings account. You earn that money and you want to try to save it save up for something, but you get interest. Now you also have to pay tax on that interest. And maybe you all think this is fair, that everything is fair, but I don't know. I do know that we began collecting our Social Security. And then we had kind of an opportunity to work, and we worked. Now, if you are getting Social Security and you work and you earn too much, you're going to have to pay a dollar, or so you have to pay so much back.
If you make too much.
If you make too much. Well, I don't think we had to do that, because I don't think we made that much.
No, but then after so many years,
just a minute, I'm not done.
Okay.
I'm not done. But we're working, and they're still taking all the taxes out, and the Social Security is coming out. But we're not going to get any more, or they're not going to raise our Social Security, since we're already on Social Security. It never got raised. So that's just I'm really big on, I don't like all the big government and all the taxes and everything.
Now, some people will say, okay, look for that state in Texas, Florida,
South
Dakota, where they have no income tax and less taxes on the people, and cheaper license plates and things like that. Well, we lived in Texas for 16 years, but our family moved, a lot of them moved back to Nebraska. So that's why we came back to Nebraska.
You like to be close to your family, right?
So yes, we could go to South Dakota. We could go back to Texas or Florida.
No, not Florida. No, not
but
Florida.
Anyway.
Nowhere I'm sorry, I'm like nowhere on the coast. But, South Dakota, I might go there. My husband says, "Ah, that's too
Too cold. But anyway,
But I
you could do those things, but you have to put up with the state that you're living in. And yeah, you could pack up and leave, but a lot of people aren't going to do that. If they have ties, they're usually going to be where they are, and they'll go for the summer. That's why they call them snowbirds, because you live in your state where your family is, and then you kind of go to where you'd like to be.
But anyway, that our whole thing about this is just about the taxes and other charges, and we would appreciate your comments. We'd appreciate a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel.
And thank you for letting us vent. We like to vent. And so watch, subscribe, comment,
Thanks.
give us a thumb up.
And thanks for joining us.
We'll see you down the line. Bye.
Bye.